Hello there guys, it's Bulkaon here, back again on a video, and today I'm going to do What If Deku Was Abandoned, part 3, hope you enjoy it. So before we start the what ifs, I have to thank you guys for the support, I'm actually grateful, not going to lie. I never thought this what if will be this popular because a lot of people make the same title, so thanks. I don't know how to say otherwise, sorry about that. But I know you guys are here for the what if, so video intro. So a bit of recap is needed. In last part, Nijiri and Deku finally or officially introduced each other. And because Ryuko was a bit suspicious of Deku, because he told him that he doesn't have a quirk and he can have this much strength and speed, she invited him to her agency and they spar. Of course, Deku lost, but he revealed that he also can fly right now. And after she asked him once again about his quirk, he told her that he found another way to get stronger without a quirk, because he's quirkless. Also, there is this awkward moment where they ask about his family name and they felt bad because, well, you guys know why. Especially Nijiri, because she's the one who asked the question. So one of them returned to school and Ryuko will tell Deku about Nijiri and how she felt. What little remained of the old Deku felt bad. So after school he fly to UA and talked to her. And their conversation was ended with Nijiri sort of returned to her usual self. And she have Deku's number. After that she invited him to the sport festival, then meet the other big three, and I think that's it for the recap, so let's begin. So after Deku's phone call, his classmates started being suspicious of him. Like, what exactly happened in the summer? So they decide to snoop around a bit, because he may be hiding something that he's embarrassed about it, so they can use it to tease him more than usual. So for a few days sometimes they follow him, but they found nothing. But one day in the weekend, and Deku is not working, and he's taking a break from training, he meet Nijiri. He asks her what she's doing here. She tell him that she was overdoing it in the training, so a teacher tell her to take a break. Then she asked him the same question and he gave her almost the same answer. So Nijiri's face turned a bit red and she asked him, so should we spend the time together? Deku was a bit flustered and he was taken aback, so I tell her, sure, why not? We have nothing else to do. Sure, at first it was awkward, but after a while it became like fun for Deku. He never had fun for a while, so he kind of liked it. But by sheer dumb luck, his classmates were there, and they are shocked to see Deku with a girl, especially this. So they kind of follow them around and they quickly realize there is something between them because Deku, he's smiling quite often. So they follow them around because they are just so noisy. So after a while, Deku is done with his air quotes date. Nijiri asks him will he enroll in UA next year. Deku replied, to tell the truth, I actually don't know. I completely gave up on being a hero a while back. So what is the point of me going to UA? I should leave the place to someone more qualified to be one. Nijiri raised her thoughts a little bit and tell him that he's stupid. She tell him that he's more than qualified to be a hero. Sure, he's rough on the edges, but deep down she knows that he's a good guy. Deku tell her, trust me, I'm not. So she asks him, why did you went out of your way to make me feel better about you know what? Deku starts stuttering and tell her, well, that's I don't want people to get hurt because of me. That's it. I want to stay away from people as much as possible. I won't cause them problems and they won't cause me problems. And being a hero is just asking for it. So that should tell you that I don't have a personality of a hero. Nijiri tell him that she disagrees with him, even though you just said that you don't care about people. One the villain that can go big attack me. You did warn me about it. And if you didn't, I will be in serious pain. Plus you did protect your coworkers during the fight. So don't sell yourself short. You are more of a hero than some pros that I know. Deku blush because of that and tell her, do you really think so? Nijiri nod and give him a big smile. Deku think about it for a second, then he tell her, fine, I will give it a try. Nijiri was happy to hear that, so she hugged him, then quickly let go of him because, well, it's embarrassing for both of them. Then after an awkward pause, Deku asks her, doesn't she need to return to UA? She tell him, technically no, because we are in a weekend. So you're allowed in school in the weekend? Deku asks and she tell him, usually no, but because of the sport festival, they give us special permission to use our quirks in a controlled environment. But you're right, I should go back. So both of them head back. And they pass by Deku's middle school and he tell her that this is my middle school because Nijiri is a bit noisy and she ask him where is his middle school. So he just tell her. After that both of them go in a separate way and let's say fast forward a couple of days. In Deku's middle school a rumor starts spreading around that he have a beautiful blue haired girlfriend. And eventually this rumor find its way to Bakugo. And he was pissed how a loser and loner was able to get the girlfriend before him. So he confronted him with his lackeys before the class start and asked him how he was able to get the girlfriend. Deku started off by pushing his hand away and tell him what the hell he's talking about. Bakugo screamed, "Don't play dumb with me. Everyone knows that you went on a date with her a couple of days ago, so answer me, Deku." And when he said that name, Deku was enraged. He looked at Bakugo with fury in his eyes and told him, "Don't ever call me that." And that was more than enough to make them take a step back. Since when Deku was this aggressive? Bakugo started forming explosion in his hand and Deku clenched his fist. But before they start fighting, the teacher stopped them and told them, "What's going on here?" Deku replied, "Nothing worth my time." And this comment really pissed Bakugo off, but he can't do anything about it. So he just sucked it up and sat on his seat. Same goes for Deku. So for the next couple of weeks, there is always this tension between Deku and Bakugo. Bakugo is always bitter because he can't do anything about it and Deku doesn't care. For him, Bakugo is still being Bakugo. Then is the day of the sport festival, and like he promised, he wants to see it. So I'm going to speed through the event because I don't know what will happen in the first and second matches or rounds, and that apply also for the 1-1 fights, except for the semi-final and the final, or one of the semi-finals. So right before the sport festival start, Nijiri starts looking around to see where is Deku is sitting, but she was unable to find him because there's quite a lot of people. She was a bit bummed, but she knows that he's here. So she passed the first round, the second round, and the 1-1 fights. But in his semi-final, she went against Tamaki because in terms of students, he's the one of the two that can handle Kinder to her. So the fight start and they are equal. Nijiri tried to use her blast to push him outside of the ring, but he's always using his tentacles to keep himself in the ring. Plus she's flying, so he was unable to hit her until he decided to throw some debris off the ring. Nijiri was able to dodge them, but some of them were heading straight to the stands. But right before they hit the stand, Deku leaped from his seat, breaking them all. Then he fly down, or basically drop down back to his seat. The crowd cheered for him and Nijiri finally spotted him, so she was happy. Then Deku signaled to her to just end it, and that gave her a boost in confidence, so she flies straight at Tamaki. He tried to use his tentacle to block her, but she was able to dodge them all. Then she used her Nijiri wave on him that sent him flying out of the ring. And now is the finals, and she went against Mirio. So I would say she will put up a fight against him, but eventually Mirio will win. Sure, Nijiri is fast and strong, but against Mirio that will not help her, because he can go through her attacks, and if she fly he can just propel himself from the ground to the sky. Plus he have immense speed using his quirks, so yeah, he's going to win. After that they were given their medals, and everyone else returned to their home. But Deku was stopped by Nijiri, so he congratulated her on doing a great job. She told him that she didn't win. Deku tell her, of course you will not go. Deku tell her, of course you will not win every battle. Plus your friend, his name was Mirio, his quirk literally make him untouchable, so she doesn't need to feel embarrassed for losing against him. Then Mirio and Tamaki join in and tell them, look like you two are getting along. Nijiri greet them. Then Mirio asks Deku, does he have a power-up quirk? Because he did see him jumping from the stand and breaking the rocks or the debris. Deku tell him, no, I'm actually quirkless. Then Nijiri chime in and tell him, he always told me that he doesn't have a quirk, but somehow he figured out a way to get stronger without a quirk. Don't ask me why, I don't know. Then Mirio tell him, that's interesting. So care to share your secret? Deku tell him, nope, I find it all by myself. If you want it, you have to do the same. Mirio tell him, keeping your cards close to your chest, huh? Fair enough. Then they went the separate way. But something interesting happened in the next day, in Deku's middle school. Like you guys already know, the sport festival was live on TV. So I'm pretty sure some Deku's classmates saw the fight, and by extension, they saw Deku jumping from the stand. And they were completely blindsided when Deku can jump that high. He must definitely have a quirk. So the news quickly spread, and like always, it reached Bakugo. And he was pissed. So that nerd was lying to him all these years, making him look like a fool. So that day, right in front of the school, when he saw Deku, he rushed at him, using his quirk, because he's still pissed about the girlfriend thing. By the way, Deku realized they are talking about Nijiri, so he doesn't know how he feel. Anyway, let's return to the story. So Bakugo rushed at Deku, throwing an explosion at him. Deku dodged and told him, what the hell is wrong with you? Bakugo tell him, I did see you in a sport festival yesterday. You have a quirk, you bastard. You know, typical Bakugo before UA. So he launched himself toward him, and this time Deku did not hold back. He grabbed him by his wrist and slammed him against the ground. Hard. Then he followed that with a kick that sent Bakugo flying toward the wall. And because the explosions, the teachers heard that, then he saw Deku kicking Bakugo toward the wall. Deku was taken to the principal office and Bakugo was taken to the nurse. So they asked Deku what he's doing. He told them his side of his story, but when they asked Bakugo's lackeys, they lied. They told them Deku is the one who started it, and Bakugo was only protecting himself. And because there is 3 or 4 Bakugo's lackeys telling the same story, and the rest of the students are afraid of Bakugo, so they didn't tell anything, Deku was suspended for 2 weeks, with Bakugo going scot-free. After Deku left, he was pissed beyond his limits. Like, what the hell is wrong with these people? Why would he attack him first? Think logically, damn it. So Deku decided to fly far away from anyone to just cool off. In the meantime, Bakugo just wake up from the beatdown and ask where is he. After they tell him what happened on the story, he was pissed because they lie, but he decided to keep his mouth shut because screw Deku. So after a few hours, Deku realized that he have to go to his job, but he's still quite pissed, and his coworkers realized that. They ask him what's going on. So because Deku knows them somewhat, so they are like in a friendly terms, he told them the story about how he was defending himself and he was accused that he's the one who started it. They asked what about the rest? I'm sure there was other witnesses. He told them they were scared from the bully, so they will not do anything. They kept their mouth shut. And they sympathize with him because some of them have kids. And of course their kids get bullied, so they know how hard it is, especially when you have to rely on yourself. So his boss eventually heard about this and tell him why don't he take some days off to try to cool off. Deku declined and tell him that if he stay put for more than 1 day, he will be more angrier. Then his boss tell him, he's a good idea. Remember the place that you work at in the summer? Deku nod. They need a replacement for a week. So what do you think, you want to go? Deku immediately take it because he want to just get out of this city for a while. Then he tell him, at least take this day off. I can see that you are pissed. Go out, train a bit like you usually do. Talk with some of your friends. Just spend your time doing something that you like. Deku think about it and tell him, I will take you on that offer. Thanks, boss. Then he just left. So Deku was heading home. Then he started hearing there is a villain on the loose. Then Deku think, if the villain show up, he will try to beat him. That should be a good stress relief. But luckily, he didn't encounter him. Then he can hear and sense something coming toward him. He look up and see All Might coming toward him. Not exactly toward him, but he just going to land near him. And Deku is shocked to see him here. Sure, he's not as big as a fan as the original, but hey, he's still All Might. Plus, there is a question that started bugging him for a while. For 2 months, specifically. So he asks All Might if he can be a hero without a quirk. All Might pauses. He was going to say something for Deku, but he feels something inside of him snap. So he quickly tells Deku, no, you can't be a hero. Because without a quirk, you will be useless. And Deku was left there frozen. Not because All Might tell him that he cannot be a hero without a quirk. He was ready for that answer. But the way All Might tell him that he can't be, it's very similar to the last word that his dad tell him. Useless. And all the rage that Deku thought that he'd get rid of a while back surged from within him. But after a second he smiled and tell himself, useless, eh? Alright, I will go to UA. I will pass the exam and I will show you what a worthless, quirkless, useless person can do. You hear me, you oversized buff clown? Just you wait. And that ruined his mood more than before. So he went straight home. Then in the evening there was some news that a villain attacked a middle schooler. Then Deku thought it was really close where I was. Then he got a phone call from Nijire. He answered and immediately can hear that she's distraught. She asked him is he okay because she saw the news. He tell her yeah, don't worry, it wasn't me. Then Nijire realized that Deku sounded a bit weird. She asked him is everything okay. At first he tried to lie, but after Nijire pushed the matter, he tell her what happened with Bakugo. She was furious at first, then she asked him what will he do next. He technically have 2 weeks off. Then Deku replied, not really. Then he tell her about the work that he will do in Ryuku City. Then Nijire perk up and tell him, really? So I guess I'm going to meet you there. Deku tell her, why? She replied by telling him that she's doing a work study with Ryuku, so she's there every day. Plus they have a week off from UA, so if he have the time they can train together. Deku tell her that sounds like a plan. Nijiri scream yes. Then she tell him see ya tomorrow. Deku tell her yeah, see ya. And after spending some time thinking why she was this excited and why is he excited to meet her again, he fell asleep. So you guys know the drill. Next day he wake up, he goes straight to Ryuku City, finish his work, then he call Nijire. He tell her that he's in the area. So she tell him to come by the agency, she's there with Ryuku. So he fly there, still a little bit awkward, but Nijire tell Ryuku about situation so she accept. Plus she want to learn more about him, because he's strong without a quirk. She want to learn how. So Deku spend the rest of the week, or whenever he have free time, training with them. And Ryuku start understand Deku's mentality. He's not a bad kid, but he really really keep his distance from everyone, but he doesn't treat Nijiri the same way. And also she realized something else. He's learning fast. Not only that, his strength is pretty impressive. So one day during their break, Deku and Nijiri are spending some time alone. Then you hear an explosion. They fly there and see a villain that have like a hand that can shoot rockets. And he's trying running from the cops, but he's endangering the civilians in the process. So Nijiri fly at him to stop him. She was able to hit him with her Nijiri wave, stunning him for a second. So when she got close to him, someone jumps her and throws a punch, but right before it connects, Deku comes flying at top speed, kicking him to the ground. Nijiri thanked him, then Deku saw that the other guy is starting to get up. He tell her to watch out. The guy smirked, turned around, point his head at the civilians, and fired a couple of rockets. Deku, without thinking, jumped in front of the rockets, lifted his right hand and copied Nijiri's move and fired a blue beam that completely destroyed the rockets and hits the villain. Although the blast was pretty weak, it's Deku's first blast, so it was not that strong. It was more than enough to knock out the villain. So Nijiri rushed at him, asking him is he okay. He nodded, then she tell him finally you were able to copy that move. Deku nodded, then Ryuko shows up. She thanks Deku for doing the right thing. Deku tell her, don't ask me, I did it without thinking. As soon as I realized what I am in, the villain was down. After that, everyone split because it was quite late, and I think I'm going to stop it right here. So what do you think of it, guys? What will happen next? Will Deku's school know the truth? Leave your thoughts in comments down below, and if you're new, subscribe, and if you like this video, drop a like, it helps me a lot. And like always guys, peace.